Was an extraction report produced using the term Alfred camera?
Yes.
Publishing that file. How many, what is timeline?
Timeline is just giving you a reference of how many different columns there are, basically, how many you've extracted or tagged.
And in Celebrite, if there's a timeline, does it kind of put events that occur in the phone in chronological order?
It does.
Okay. So there appears to be what? How many things pulled from the timeline?
7.
Okay. And there's a column here that says type, correct?
Yes.
And so it kind of tells you what type of data entry point is inside the phone. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Okay, so let's read out entry number 1. What is the type?
Installed applications.
So what does that mean?
Be when you downloaded an application from an app store.
Can you please tell me the date that this application was installed?
9/5/2022 at 12:03:53 a.m.
And if you could just help us, there's this parent parentheses that says UTC -7. What does that mean?
UTC is a time code, so right now we're in -7 during daylight savings time.
Okay, so we're talking time zones, is that right?
Yeah, universal coordinated time, and then every time zone goes off of that.
And we're Pacific, correct?
Yes.
And so to get to Pacific, you'd have to subtract 7 hours?
Yes.
And is that what the program is indicating, that this has been converted to Pacific time?
Yes.
All right. If you could, so it says timestamp, it reads that date. Read what it says right here.
Purchase date?
Okay, and then what's the description of what application was purchased?
The Alfred Camera Home Security app.
Okay, so this application was installed by someone 3 days after Mr. Gehrman was killed.
Correct.
All right. Let's go to the next entry. What is entry number 2 about?
Web history.
All right. And give us the date and time.
9/5/2022, 12:10:46 a.m.
So because this is timeline, it's kind of merging different sources of information, correct?
Yes.
Like before we had a report that just looked at web history, but timeline can pull from different spaces, right?
Correct.
So for example, if there was an image that might relate to this, it would also migrate into this report. Would that be correct?
That's possible.
All right. So if you could, it's indicate, what's the term that's being used right there?
It's the last visited time.
What does that mean?
When somebody last visited that website.
All right. So at 12:10 a.m., what is the user of this phone visiting?
The Alfred Web Viewer PC is home security monitor using Google Chrome.
Okay. And we find, is there a second entry mirroring all of that same information?
Yes.
Look at entry number 4. How about then?
Same information.
But is the date a little bit different?
The time is different, yes.
Okay. We have other similar entries. Is that correct on the 5th?
That is correct.
Okay. Was there information, an extraction report also, was there also an extraction report derived from images that appeared to come from Google Maps?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's first pull up the extraction report. How many images relating to Google Map images were tagged for this report?
132.
So that signifies that there was 132 images found in his phone related to this particular topic?
That were tagged, yes.
Okay. Let's start scrolling through some of this. For example, with this first one here, can you tell us, when you look at the pathway, where are these images coming from?
From the Google Maps app.
So they're coming from the Google Maps app?
Yes.
All right. What's the modification date on this?
Again, that would be the last time that application interacted with that specific artifact.
Please read out the date for entry number 1.
8/12/2022, 9:55:24 p.m.
Okay. Let's look at this second one. What is there? It's off by a couple of different seconds, correct?
Yes.
But all the information remains the same?
Yes.
Does 8/12/22 appear to be the same date for these items?
It does.
Let's just all the way down to the end, all from 8/12. Is that correct?
Correct.
So let's open up a folder that says 7216 Bronze Circle. You recognize what you're looking at here?
A home?
It's a home. Is it in a certain type of web program?
This would be a Google Street View, yes, so Google Maps.
Okay. And so at this particular home, this is kind of an angle. This would be if someone was in Google Maps and pulled up a street view of 7216 Bronze Circle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it just another angle of
Yes.
that same home?
Yes.
Let's start getting to the actual images. So this is one of the images that was found inside Mr. Tellis's phone. Would this correspond to one of the thumbnails?
Yes.
How about this one?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Pulling up 7212 Bronze Circle. What are we looking at in this image?
Another street view of a house.
Okay. Is this image pulled out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
Yes.
And again, the dates on these were August 12th of 2022.
Yes.
So that's roughly, my math is usually terrible, about 20 days before Mr. Gehrman is killed. If it's September 2nd. Am I doing that math right? I feel like I am.
It sounds close.
Sounds close? Okay. In this photograph, what does that appear to be? Right above the street address on the house?
Appears to be a solar-powered security camera.
And that was inside Mr. Tellis's phone.
The image, yes.
Are these images that came out of this extraction?
Yes. 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 Yes.
What are we looking at here? This is another street view
It is.
of this street called Bronze Circle.
It is.
Are these following images that were pulled out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
They are.
And there's a series of folders here that identify different houses on this street. Would that be correct?
Correct.
Okay. But ultimately, when you put them all together, it totals. How many does it total again, based on this?
132.
With a date of August 12th of 2022.
Correct.
Was there also images, an extraction report created regarding what appeared to be, I apologize, I need to move this over, what appeared to be almost like surveillance?
There was.
Publishing that report. How many tags are related here?
101.
If you could, please tell me the pathway where these images come from.
The google.android.apps.photos cache.
So it's coming from, again, the photo application inside Mr. Tellis's phone?
That or Google Photo Cloud, one of.
Okay, or it was up in the cloud associated, but that phone, that particular phone belonging to Mr. Tellis is associated with that cloud, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What's the modification date on this?
8/15/2022, 10:24:07 a.m.
So 3 days after the 132 images found of Bronze Circle.
That's correct.
And this is a rough look of what all of these images look like, correct?
Correct.
What appears to be captured in these photographs?
Vehicles driving down a street.
And they all appear to be from 8/15 of 2022, correct?
They do.
So a total of 101, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, we don't have all 101, but we will. I want to ask you, do these appear to be some of the images that appear inside this phone related to this extraction report?
They do.
Was there also an extraction report created relating to images that appeared to have information related to Jeffrey Gehrman?
There was.
How many tags were there?
7.
Why don't you tell us again about the pathway? Where did these images come from?
From the Google Photos app.
So the same application that had kind of like this, the pictures of the cars driving by, same place.
Yes.
In the same place where all the Bronze Circle pictures are taken, correct?
Yes.
Okay, those came from the 12th and the 15th. Tell us about this date. When do these images, when are these at least show up as being modified?
8/23/2022.
Okay, so just a couple of days later, correct?
Correct.
And every one of these 7 images is from that date, correct?
Correct.
If you could, please read me the name that is under registrants.
Jeffrey M. Gehrman.
Okay? I'd like to go 2 notches down. Please read the registrant and the address.
Jeffrey M. Gehrman, 7216 Bronze Circle, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89128, I believe.
Okay? Can you tell me what is this? Read the top line up here. What does that say?
2021 Honda Civic Sport.
It provides a VIN number as well. Is that right?
It does.
Okay. It provides the body style. Is that right?
It does.
And when we look at this, can you look at the bottom and read the words of what that says right there?
Dell.
Okay. You're familiar with computers, correct?
Correct.
Does that appear to be a monitor?
It does.
A monitor that might be sitting on a desk, potentially?
Potentially.
Okay. this came out of Mr. Tellis's phone.
Yes,
And the date of the modification on this is August 23rd. Is that right?
that's correct.
And that would be roughly 8 or 9 days. I just can't remember if August. Does August have 31 days? I feel like August has 31 days. And if that's the case, then that would be 9 days where Mr. Gehrman was killed.
Correct.
Okay. So this image comes out of Mr. Tellis's phone. 31 days. I don't have that math. It's good. Okay. Did this image come out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
It did.
Please, what are the names that we keep seeing appearing in here?
Jeffrey M. Gehrman.
Okay, and it's listing what? What are we? What's it kind of showing? Different what?
Different cars.
Okay. Again, we see. Do we see the Dell thing again?
Yes.
Okay. Next image, is this another angle of it? Another angle of like another image?
Yes.
Okay, it appears to come from a monitor, from a monitor for a computer.
Yes.
Is it more information about Gehrman and Hondas?
It is.
I guess there's another one down here, a 2003 what?
2003 Volkswagen Passat GL.
Right. What are we looking at here? This is another image that came from the phone.
It is.
And again, it has similar information that we saw from one of the other images.
Correct.
Again, this comes out of Mr. Tellis's phone.
It does.
And let's look at this one. What's this say up here?
Jeffrey M. Gehrman.
Okay, does it provide a date of birth for Mr. Gehrman?
It does.
What is the date of birth of Mr. Gehrman?
8/23/1953, 69 years old.
All right. Does it also provide a bronze circle address as well for Mr. Gehrman?
It does.
So the date on that is 8/23. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you also did a download of Mr. Tellis's work computer, correct?
Correct.
A computer that was found in his office. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you produce a series of reports similar to an extraction report in relation to that?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to open up the first file here that's entitled Chrome Autofill 07216 Bronze. Is this kind of the cover page for your report, sir?
For a PDF report, yes.
Okay. So, this indicates Chrome Autofill Record 1, is that right?
That's correct.
Tell me, what's the significance of the category name?
When something's typed in, such as an address into Google, it might think you want to store that as an autofill to make it easier to populate when you're typing something in the future.
What's the date on that?
That is 8/23/2022 at 6:05:40 p.m.
Okay. So that's the same date that we had those that we looked at before, right?
Yes.
So the ones that had like the car registration information that appear to be on a monitor, computer monitor, we've got the same, at least the same date as those images, correct?
That's correct.
Can you please read to me what value was entered in at that point?
7216 bronze.
That's the same street associated with Mr. Gehrman on those images from 8/23, is that right?
That's correct.
Is that the same street name as all of those Google mapped images that we saw?
Correct.
Let's open the file. It says Chrome logins, R.E. Tellis. Now, read to me username. What's it say?
The username is rtellis at Clark County.
Okay, what's the created date and time on that?
8/23/2022 at 6:04:56 p.m.
All right. And what is IDI core? Do you know what that is?
I do not. know
Okay.
what IDI core is.
But essentially, just to be clear, the last thing that we looked at also tied into IDI core, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so all this comes from the IDI core program, right?
Correct.
And whoever punched in their username put in Artelis at Clark County?
Yes.
Okay, on 8/23 of 2022.
Yes.
Now I'm opening a file that says Chrome Web History Expanded Person Search. Can you tell me what's the date and time on this one?
8/23/2022, 6:05:41 p.m.
And read to me the URL or the website that was being visited.
It's www.idicore.com/search/expanded person search.
And there's a visit count. How many times is that visited?
7.
And again, this is all from the same date as we saw those other images that appear to come from a desktop monitor.
Correct.
Court's indulgent. I have no further questions for this witness.
Afternoon.
In reference to the report that you generated, which is State's Exhibit 354, we'll start with the questions concerning the extractions in reference to the cell phone. Do you call that line of questioning? There are a number of times that you were asked by the state the cell phone, and you pretty much every time responded the iCloud, correct? These images that you can testify to were derived or extracted from the iCloud.
No, iCloud would be for an Apple phone. This was a Google phone.
Okay,
it's
so
just
it would be
the
a cloud, the
Yes.
cloud, Google Cloud. I mean,
Yes.
are you aware of how many devices, communication devices, had access to this cloud?
I'm not.
So it could be 1, it could be 20. You're not able to give an opinion or testimony in reference to the number of cell phones, correct?
With access to that cloud account, no.
You have had experience in your employee dealing with clouds that are hacked.
Personally, no.
Personally, but you've been involved, but you're aware of investigations wherein a person's cloud is hacked.
Yes,
In fact, we hear about it, don't we? Oftentimes, oh, my cloud was hacked.
we do.
You were not called upon to conduct an investigation concerning the hacking of this cloud, correct?
No.
You were asked questions concerning an application in reference to security cameras. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Correct.
And it appeared that there was an app downloaded, whether to the phone. Can you testify concerning that? Was that downloaded to the phone or to the cloud?
It was downloaded to the phone.
So we're able to pinpoint the security application being downloaded to that phone, correct?
Correct.
The Pixel phone.
Correct.
And you were asked a date, and that date was on September 5th, 2022, correct?
That sounds correct.
And this app that was downloaded was concerning security cameras.
That's what it sounds like.
Fairly common. One can download a security camera app in order to monitor their security cameras.
It is.
You'll agree with me that generally people download or purchase a security camera and download an application concerning that security camera if there's a concern in reference to their security.
Yes.
You were asked questions in relation to the date that Mr. Gehrman passed, and you were told, hey, if it's September 2nd, 2022, would you have any reason to disagree with me? You call that question?
Yes.
Obviously, this case concerns the passing, the killing of Mr. Gehrman, correct?
Correct.
Fair to say that a person downloads a security app in reference to a security system in order to protect themselves and their property.
Correct.
Objection, cost respect.
Obviously, the point being that if a person's concerned about their security, someone that they may know has been killed, it would be reasonable to assume they would get a security camera and download an app in order to access that security camera from their phone.
Could be.
In reference to the Dell, the desktop, the last part of your questionings concerning various downloads in reference to Mr. Gehrman from the office laptop. Remember that line of questioning?
The office computer, yes.
Correct. Based upon your testimony, those images were downloaded after 6 p.m., correct?
Those images were still in UTC time. The one on the screen shows right now they haven't been converted for Pacific Standard Time yet.
After 5 o'clock?
No, that website, if you do the time conversion, would be 11:05:41 a.m. on the 23rd.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Redirect?
Yes. Detective, there were some questions about hacking. Did you see, when you reviewed the phone, did you find any evidence that this phone download was corrupted in any way?
No.
Did anybody from Metro Homicide provide you any information to suggest that this phone had been hacked into?
No.
There was questions about it's reasonable to assume. I think the question related something along the lines of, if someone had been murdered, it might be reasonable to assume someone might download a security camera to potentially protect themselves. Do you remember being asked something like that?
I do.
Under that same line, possibly if someone actually had committed the killing, would it be reasonable to assume you might want to put security cameras up to see if people...
Not object as a speculation. Thank you.
Okay. The time that we can see up on the screen, 6:05, on 8/23/2022, when you convert that to UTC time, what does that actually come out to?
Again, it's 8/23/2022 at 11:05:41 a.m.
Showing opposing counsel, which is marked as no objection. Permission to publish 351.
Okay, it's admitted by stipulation at this
Correct,
time,
yes.
and you may publish.
Could we just cue over for 1 second? So, August 22nd fell on a what?
August 22nd fell on a Monday.
And you said the time was what time when you converted to UTC time?
I believe it was 11. Well, when I converted to Pacific Standard Time, was 11:05 and was it 41 seconds?
So on 11:05 on a Monday, someone went into Mr. Tellis's work computer and started looking up things like 7216 Bronze Circle.
Correct.
I have no further questions for this witness.
No request.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You are excused from your subpoena. Do you have the next witness waiting?
May we approach?
Sure. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to recess for lunch. During this recess, you're admonished not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. Read, watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case. Do any research, consult dictionaries, the internet, or reference materials. Do any investigation, test a theory, recreate any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own, or form or express any opinion regarding the case till it's finally submitted to you, and we'll be in recess till 1:30. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tracy, you're a